that the divorce happened, and that's why maybe if it didn't happen, we could have normal relationship. I don't know, something like this.
Well, I mean, I don't know what that means. If somebody wasn't a smoker, they wouldn't have got sick from lung cancer. But
Yeah,
they were smokers and they did. So I'm not sure where's
that's
the off
wishful
ramp here?
thinking.
Like this,
Yeah.
they did what they did, and that's done. And they don't regret it, and they don't apologize for it. So that's who they are. I mean, if you want to know what is someone like, you look at what they do, right?
Right.
Actions are the ultimate window into the personality, right? So if somebody says, I want to lose weight, but they don't lose weight, then they don't really want to lose weight. So
Yes.
this is who your parents are. It's revealed in two things. One, their choices, and two, their justifications,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they have made terrible choices. They've blown up the family. They've attacked each other. They hate each other. They're trying to destroy each other. They're calling the cops. They're funding lawyers, right? So that's who they are. They can love people. How long were your parents married?
Uh, around 20, maybe less than 20 years, something
Okay.
like this.
So they can, maybe they were together for a couple of years beforehand. So, for almost a quarter century, your parents claimed to love each other, and now they're trying to destroy each other,
Yes.
right? So you're in danger in the long run, because if they can turn on each other, who else might they turn on?
Yes, I experienced that from my mother, I guess,
Sure.
because she mm, whenever I do something she does not like, it's like, oh, you act like your father.
Right. Okay. So your parents are dangerous to each other, and they're dangerous to you and your girlfriend.
Yes.
They are what I would refer to as emotional terrorists. Agree with me, or I will try to destroy you.
Yes, this is for sure valid.
So they're not going to change. So if they don't change or they get worse, which is more likely that they'll get worse, do you want them in your life? Not based on who they might be or who they could be or in some other dimension, what good parents would look like. Do you want them in your life as they are?
No.
Well, that's your answer.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if you want to talk to them, I'm always a big fan. If you're uncertain, go talk to them. And say, look, I need you guys to stop blaming each other. I need you to stop wasting money on lawyers. I need you to stop making excuses. I need you to take responsibility, and I need you to go to therapy.
I'm trying to do this with my mother.
Well, no, you hang on. You can't try to do it. All you can do, you have 100% control over what you do and 0% control over what other people do. So if people say, I'm trying to get my brother to stop drinking, or I'm trying to get my aunt to stop smoking, it's like, well, there's no trying. What you do is you say, you should stop drinking and you should stop smoking, and here's why. And you have 100%. You don't have to try to do that. You just do it or don't do it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then the other person, which is out of your control, listens or doesn't listen. But there's no trying involved, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It's like saying, I'm trying to give $10 to a homeless guy. You don't try to, right? You say, here's $10. He says yes or he says no. But you don't try to give $10 to a homeless guy, and you don't try to change people. You 100% say, here's what you need to change and here's why. And they either listen or they don't. But there's no, I'm sorry to be an annoying nag about this, but there's no trying involved, because trying sounds like it's on you. No, you tell them, here's what I need to have a good relationship with you. They do it or they don't. But there's no trying, if that makes sense.
Yes. I actually had this explained to me before about trying. So sorry for using this expression. I understand why it's not.
Well, because it's a public call, I have to make sure I don't let that one slip by. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Sorry for using it.
Okay, so that's your answer. If you accept that they won't change, and they won't, I mean, they haven't even admitted there's a problem. Your father hasn't come to you and said, I've really been mean to your mom. I've been blaming her for a lot of stuff. It's really not fair. I chose her. After all, I chose to spend 20 years with her. I can't say that she changed so completely that she turned from someone I loved into someone I hate. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with my perspective. I mean, let's say that your mother had some brain injury or a stroke or something like that, and then she just became a different person. I mean, I suppose it could happen, right?
Hmm.
Well, then you wouldn't hate her. It would just be
Yeah, I
like,
would feel
okay,
sorry.
she's lost her part of her brain, and so she's not the same person that she used to be.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't press charges. You wouldn't sue her. You wouldn't like. You just say, oh, okay, so she's really damaged, right?
Yes.
You know, if my best friend, I play tennis with him, and if he breaks his arm and he can't play tennis, I don't hate him. I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, you've got an injury, you know. And
Right.
so your mother didn't suffer any big brain injury, is that right? Your father didn't suffer any big brain injury?
No.
Right. So they're the same people they always were. They've just gone from loving each other to hating each other, which is a perspective change. And it's around blaming the other person for everything that goes wrong without taking any responsibility. It's putting yourself in the position of a child with a bad parent, right? So if you're a child and you've got a bad parent, I mean, there's nothing really you can do. I mean, you're just stuck there, right? You're just stuck there. You're like the guy in the Count of Monte Cristo. You know, his enemies hate him and they just get him thrown in jail, and he's just stuck there, right? So
Hmm.
So that's the reality. So your parents are pretending that they are children and that the other parent is an unchosen, brutal adult. And so they're regressing. And this happens to people. Immaturity is just pretending you're a child and helpless. And then this allows you to take all kinds of vengeance, right? So people pretend that they're victims so that they can be aggressive. It's a very common phenomenon, of course, as you know. So your parents don't even admit that there's a problem. They don't even sit there and say, gee, I loved this person. I had children with this person. I said I was going to love this person forever. Now I hate them. What is wrong with me? What have I done that is incorrect in my thinking? They don't say that. They're self-justified. It's all the other person's fault. They're bastards. He's an asshole, whatever they say, right? So they're
Hmm.
not going to change. And I don't believe it's worth being in relationships in the hopes that people will change. It's wrong. It is wrong to be in relationships in the mad hope that people will change. It's actually kind of cruel because you are not in a relationship with the person. It's kind of a narcissistic, I'm not calling you a narcissist, right? But it's kind of a narcissistic relationship. If you're with someone because you can imagine them being the opposite of who they are. It would be like if a woman dates an artist and continually tries to talk him into being an accountant. And she's like, hey, man, they both start with A. Maybe you can be an astronaut too. So that would be kind of cruel, right? And she would be then in a relationship with her own fantasy rather than with the person. When you're in a relationship, you should be in a relationship with the person as he or she is, not in your fantasy of who they could be.
Right.
And
Yes,
so
this makes.
if you like people for who they are, great. If you don't like who they are, you can certainly give them some requirements. If they don't meet those requirements, you're under no obligation to stay. What I don't want is for people, you, of course, but people as a whole, don't be in relationships on the fantasy that people will be magically different from who they are. That's selfish. And it's kind of cruel. And it certainly is not very productive. I mean, I assume that you don't want your girlfriend to be the opposite of who she is.
No.
Right. It would be the same as saying, well, I'm dating a short woman, but I'll only commit when she becomes 1 foot taller. That would be kind of cruel, right?